And this is for me?
That is for you. Okay, we are live. Nobody's.
We'll get
San Jose Museum of Art has joined us.
Yes. Oh, very good, because I'm
Alexandra
going to talk about
is
them.
here. Sophie is here. Erica is here. Christine Bowman. Oh, Erica from Savoir-Faire. Yes, Christine Bowman, good to see you. Melanie, good to see you.
Bonjour.
Aaron, good to see you.
So from
Marianne.
the museum, is it Jeff from the museum or Hong?
We'll find out.
Okay, it's all right, because this is the person with whom we are doing our next donation, so
All right.
very important.
Let's give it a minute for some more folks to jump
Please,
on here.
Come in.
Hello, Marion from Arizona.
All right.
Hello,
Okay.
Squeaky Piggy.
Squeaky Piggy. Woo. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
The Queen is here from California. We're in California too. All right.
All right. So, Andrew, you tell me. I want to show everybody this. You know, I like to show an artwork.
Oh, and Keiko just joined us.
Ah! Keiko is already here.
Daniel
but
from
she's-
Benicia. Nancy from Maryland.
But Keiko is hiding. She's going to come in a few minutes. So you tell me when I can say bonjour.
I think we are there. We have some Rosita from Los Angeles, Holden from Canada,
Canada.
Orange
All right.
Green Bird from New Jersey.
Okay. So,
I would dive in right now. Cindy, she is here.
Cindy.
Sophie from Pennsylvania. All right, we have
All right, you guys.
many people jumping on.
So we're going 1, 2, 3. Bonjour! This is Pierre at Savoir-Faire, and here we are in Novato, California, Marin County, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And here we are, 103 days since the shelter in place. For the newcomer, I just want to let you know that we started making that live. On the other side, you have Andrew Cook, that one of these days we decided he will turn around the camera. And we have started that on March 16th, when we heard about the shelter in place, an expression I had never heard about. And then I decided the following week to be live because everybody was lost, didn't know what was going on. I wanted to explain the situation and to start to get people, the community together. And then little by little, first we started getting involved, and because art is essential, we took upon ourselves to stay open to very, very small and very safely with social distancing and everything. We had a few people at Savoir-Faire and to supply, because art is essential. And ever since that, every week we've been doing outreach, giving art supplies to the people in need, because we believe during confinement it was essential to be able to paint, to draw for kids and all that. So every week we have been doing something. I'm not going to repeat because now it's been so many weeks. The list is long, but I heard that someone from the San Jose Art Museum came up early, so that's our next move, is to give to they have an outreach program at the San Jose Museum, and we're gonna work with them. So anyway, 103 days, and then we had the unrest, so we wanted to give the voice to different people to make sure we are very inclusive, and there is no art is not only good for you as a health, but good for the community, and it's one way to express your feeling. Use paint and brush and not gun or violence. So that's what we do. Art is good for you and art is good for the world. Now, but today is very, very, very special because my very good friend Keiko Tanabe will be joining us. But you saw it on the post, but I wanted to tell you a little story about this. I've known Keiko a few years, and we met each other. We've seen each other in California, in Italy, Fabriano, in in France, in California. I mean, many places, in Colorado. I forgot where it was. No, it was not in Colorado, New Mexico, I think. And one day, she was in Paris because she won a big prize, and she had a big show at the Grand Palais, and she came. We did actually a little movie on it, and she went here. That's the bridge of my grandfather, Louis Guidetti, same name as my son. And she went and painted the bridge for me. So it's very, very, very nice, beautiful artwork. It's not far from the Sennelier store, but what's amazing is when you see that painting, you see the Notre Dame. You can see Notre Dame of Paris, and Keiko was there just a few days or a few weeks before the fire. So just after the fire, I received that painting. I was amazed. So anyway, that's a little personal thing. So that's my special gift. Voilà.
Let's say hello to some of our very good friends. Hello, Vered. Is Daniel with you? Hello, Renaud. Hello, Valerie.
Is Daniel driving the Tesla?
Oh.
Daniel is very son. Oh, Renaud, bonjour. Valérie.
And Laurent and Jim Hans are on.
Oh my God, but no, they are in a meeting.
They just hung up the phone.
Okay. So, all right. Well, welcome everybody. So, today, as I wanted to tell you about all the art, today we are changing. We're gonna do watercolors because watercolor is also very special for us. Because not only like Fabriano was the first paper company to make watercolor paper, they invented surface sizing, they invented watermark, a lot of things that allowed people to paint on paper. So it's very special, and we actually, with Keiko, we were at Fabriano. And also, Sennelier watercolors, we're one of the first to make watercolors for the Impressionists, so we have stories there too. And then the brushes, we have Raphael, which was the oldest brush manufacturer. So because of all that, we are very immersed in watercolor. And Keiko, we met thanks to actually Lauren McCracken, part of the Fabriano in Aquarello group, and he was love on first sight. Maureen would approve because it's platonic love. No. And ever since, like I said, we've seen each other, we crossed paths all over the world. And she's fantastic. I can't wait to have her on screen, but we have a very special relation. She is an amazing artist, traveling all over the world, and a fantastic teacher. So we are so proud. I'm so proud, and we are so happy to have her. And she agreed to do a free live demo. So I think on that note, we should let Kate, right?
Indeed, we have sent her a request.
Aha.
And in the meantime, we will say Daniel is driving his Jeep in the mountains of North Carolina.
Okay.
And thank you to Jane. She loves Raphael brushes.
All right.
And Sandy from California says hello. Laurent says go paint.
Go paint, yes. So here, maybe I should paint, but she's going to teach me a few things.
Purple Squirrel is here from Florida, and Keiko is here, but she's sideways. Oh, there she goes.
Voila.
Oh, okay. I have to turn my phone. Wait a second. I was not ready for this.
That you are okay. It's live. It doesn't.
Can you hear me?
Have to be perfect. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Keiko.
Nice to see you.
You know what you said, bonjour. Yes. So unfortunately, I have to tell you today, I'm not seeing you. We didn't have the setup, so I'm gonna have to follow everything you said just with my ears. So Keiko, welcome to people call it Pierre's Live, but welcome to Savoir-Faire and to the live. So I'm very proud and very happy that you are here.
Oh, the honor is mine, Pierre.
Let's do this. And now I can see you. Oh, really?
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, if you can see me, there's something I have to show you. I'm having my coffee in my special cup.
All right, very good. So, oh my God, it's very nice. I see you. Good idea, but you don't see her now.
I'll have to wing it.
So, Keiko, before we start, because I think everybody is very anxious to see you painting and to learn a couple of tricks, but to really learn from Keiko, you really have, hopefully, past Corona, be able to come to one of her workshops, because there's nothing better to see you, to have your charisma around and your good energy. But I think you've done an amazing, great job also during the confinement to come up with some very strong image and filming, so people can follow you on on your tech class online. So you'll have to explain all that a little later. But first, can you tell us just a little bit about your story?
Sure.
Because I love all kind of art, and I love all kind of artists. As you know, I'm very inclusive. I'm not too selective, unless mean people. I have an allergy for mean people. But can you tell us, just to start, a little story about you, originally from Japan, but you moved here, you had a very strong, successful career, and one day you dropped everything to paint.
Yes, yes.
Make it very short. Can you tell us a little
Sure.
bit about that journey?
Yes. Oh, can you hold on a second?
So go ahead.
Yes. No, please.
So,
sorry. Yeah, there's somebody at the door.
Okay. But that's the beauty of life. So, you know, that's what happened. We are live, so it's good. So tell us a little bit, you know, about that, short, because like I said, everybody's anxious to see you painting. So tell us a little bit.
Yes. So I was born and grew up in Japan, in the city of Kyoto. And then I spent there, well, actually half of my life. But I decided to come to the States around 1990 to get my master's degree. So I went to UCLA and to study international education and business. So 2 years I was there. And then I got a job in San Francisco. So I was actually living very close to you. We just didn't know each other, right? It was funny. Years after we found each other. Then I found out we're actually, you know, neighbors, practically neighbors. But at the time, I was, you know, working in the field, totally different from art. So I did that for several years. And then I continued my business in the marketing. And that was marketing, even though I was working at a law firm in San Francisco. But my job was marketing. So international relations also. And then I continued that line of business after I moved to San Diego as well. But around 2003 and 4, I decided to paint. It's not because I just had an idea around that time. The desire was always inside me. And if you can ask anybody who knew me from my childhood or in my, you know, from my teen years or even 20s, I was always telling my family and close friends, I want to learn how to paint someday. So I always wanted to do that. But around that time, 2003 or 4, finally, I decided to actually do it. You know, before that, it was just an idea. But the idea just grew and grew and so strong, I had to do something. So, but I was also working full time, very busy, very little time for hobbies. But, you know, whenever I drew or painted, it brought me so much happiness, so much joy. So I kept doing it more and more. So a couple of years after that, I came to a point where I had to really decide, you know, doing this as a hobby is nice, but, you know, I need more than that. So I decided to quit my job to paint full time. So, but that's actually the same time when I chose watercolor. But before that, I was just happy painting, drawing, doing, you know, using whatever I could find. So, and so it was.
But why watercolor? Why watercolor?
Why watercolor? There's no question. Everybody wants to know. Several reasons. I usually say probably the biggest reason at the time, and maybe still is, because I was traveling a lot. Right now I travel a lot too, but I've been traveling all my life. So I wanted to take something that's very portable, no mess, and just easy, something easy to travel with. It doesn't take up too much space, and I mean, it dries very fast. And so for a very practical reason, I like that. But another reason, maybe it has something to do with me being Japanese, because in Japan, in school, nowadays, I don't know if they still do it. We all learn how to do calligraphy every week. Not a lot of time. But I liked it so much, so I was even taking lessons after school. So when I use some of those brush, calligraphic brush strokes in my painting, when I use watercolor, it just worked. I thought, this is something I used to do, and so maybe if it looks good in my painting, maybe I already know how to do watercolor. I was so naive, of course. There's so much more than that, but I just felt good about it. And also something to do with the water. I always liked water. That's why I always live close to water. So it just makes me feel happy when I'm outside and see the water and now working with the water. Yeah, there's something special about water. Very fluid. And, I mean, I think maybe that's something I want to be. Water is so free. I mean, if you put it in a container, it retains a shape. But once you release it, it goes wherever it wants to go, right? So that's the kind of life I wanted to have. I wanted the freedom. But a little bit of control is okay if I'm happy. And so, yeah, it was so many reasons. Maybe there's more, but the main reasons are.
But that's beautiful. So I like, of course, it's true. It's easy to start. It's easy to carry. It's
definitely
not messy and all that. And it appears easy at the beginning, although that could be controversial because people say it's easy to start, but actually to master watercolors, for some people, it's one of the hardest things to do because of that freedom. And I love the metaphor with water, and I share that kind of philosophy of water is a beautiful symbol of freedom, and especially these days, it's important, the fluidity of life and all that. I love that. The one I didn't really connected before was the connected connection between calligraphy and watercolor. But that's a good point because it's true. It's watercolor type ink on paper. So
yes.
But I love your metaphor about water, and I'll say something about that, which is my own observation. I'm not a teacher like you, but in my observation, all those years what I've seen watercolors, and particularly for student or beginner, there is often that fear of letting go or letting the water flow and have the happy accident. There is that fear of not controlling, and that's exactly what personally I love about watercolor, is that freedom. You start and actually you're not even sure, and that's where with you what's something fantastic, and hopefully you're going to show us it. Even though it's free flowing like that, use a lot of water, big brushes and stuff, and yet it looks like the water, it's almost controlling itself through your mental thing. So I don't know, maybe it's a Zen technique or something, but that's one of the magic of you. So on that note, go show us some tricks.
Okay, I'll try my best. But thank you for the opportunity. Right. It's an honor for me. Okay, so I have to find a place where I can put my phone. Let me. Okay. I'm gonna adjust it.
But
just for now. I have to bring this closer to my easel.
Okay. So, and like you said, right now, Keiko is in San Diego. That's her studio. She's been confined. I'll talk a little bit while you get ready. So it's very special for Keiko because even more than most of us, she's been probably one of the person who've challenged my travel schedule. I mean, she's all over the place usually, and it's very unusual for Keiko to be at home for 2 months or 3 months in a row.
You too, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So it's a little on the side.
Yeah, I don't know how to change this orientation. Is there a way?
I don't know. Let's say Andrew is coming back. Ah, voila.
Yeah, but I'm holding my phone in my hand, which I don't want to do when I paint. Yeah, I have a phone holder. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe you should return your phone. I mean, anybody who's using your device, I don't want to bore you, but I'm struggling.
But it's okay. I think it's okay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is it okay?
Let's do a sideways painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Go ahead.
I apologize.
We're all anxious to see you.
Okay, so you can see the easel. I'm using the tabletop easel today, and the angle is almost vertical. So, I mean, to give you the better angle, to show you what's going on the surface of paper. So everything's going to run, right? So what you just said here is, how to control water or how to work with the water. And I think this is the perfect situation. Everything's going to run because of the gravity. So let's see if I can enjoy that or if I will get frustrated or if I have to fight it. That's great. So but anyway, the paper I'm using Fabriano, and I have two different texture, cold press and rough. And actually, I did a drawing beforehand. Which one did I use? Or this one. So I think I'm going to start on rough paper. All right? Okay. So Fabriano Artistico, 140 pounds, rough. That's the paper I'm using. And then the subject I'm going to paint, I don't know if you can see my drawing. It's a bit dark. Do you see it?
We can see some.
Some, yeah. Okay, once I start color, putting colors, you will see it. But anyway, this particular place, it's a urban scene, is not far from the little painting you just showed us. So it's Paris. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start painting. So what I do always is the drawing in the beginning, which I already did. Normally I show everything in my demo, typical demo. You start with a white sheet of paper with no drawing. But I don't draw much, so it's I hope you don't mind and that you didn't see my drawing. So I'm just putting color. This is a rose sienna. Well, I use Tanabe. I love Tanabe colors. And then usually the first part of the painting, I don't really wet the paper, and I directly paint on the dry sheet. All right, so this is rose sienna. By the way, my palette is right here, right next to the easel. If you can see, you see? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We see on the left. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, if I'm painting outside, usually I hold my palette in my hand. Sometimes in the studio as well. But this way, I can paint and have coffee at the same time if I don't hold my palette. So I'm still working with the same color. I'm doing vertical painting, but doesn't mean I usually start from top to bottom. Sometimes I start from the bottom and up.
So we don't see because, on this, and it's okay, it's a live, it's a teaser. People who really want to learn, they should take your lesson. But can you explain, right now we see it in a diagonal, but is it vertical right now?
This is a vertical painting. Yeah, this is a vertical painting. Right. Yeah, sorry about that funny orientation.
No, don't worry. This is the pleasure of the live. We all have to, maybe I'm doing like this.
Yeah, but I assume almost everybody's using, looking at this with a phone or tablet, right? So they can just change the direction. I know the Pierre. Yeah. You're gonna be lying down, but.
Oh, so maybe I should be like this, so we both on the same. No. Better to put your phone on Keiko's direction and me be cruel. We pause.
So this area of Paris, actually, I'm putting the Seine, the river Seine, in the middle. And then on the other side, there's Notre Dame. Maybe you can tell where I was to see this view.
Okay, so that's on the
well, Louvre is behind. This is Notre Dame,
and not far
and the Louvre is behind.
Yeah.
So actually, this is your bridge.
Yeah.
This is your
Notre
bridge.
Dame is in the little island. All right. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, let me tell you. So Notre Dame is on the Île de la Cité, which is an island between the left bank and the right bank. Louvre is on the right bank. And on the left bank, you have l'École des Beaux-Arts, you have the Sennelier store and things like that. In the middle, you have two islands. L'Île de la Cité, where there is Notre Dame. And then there is the other island, l'Île Saint-Louis. And this is where the bridge that my grandfather built goes from l'Île Saint-Louis to the left bank. And from where you are on the left bank, on the other side with not the bridge, and in the back, Notre Dame de Paris. But like I said earlier, is quite remarkable. So Keiko painted the bridge because she knew it was the bridge of my grandfather, and of course painted Notre Dame in the back. And just a few weeks after,
I was there to do your painting in February.
And then Notre Dame burned, and then I received that painting just at that time. So it was
well, that's great. You're giving us a tour.
Go back to your
from the real Parisian, right? You're Parisian, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I grew up. I was born and grew up in Paris, even though my father is from Nice. That's why I have Guidetti as a name, so with Italian origin. And on my mother's side,
that's another place. Well, I guess we were not together when I was there a couple times, but I did meet your family and had a fantastic time.
All right, and we'll come back.
Yes.
Another thing. So tell us about the painting.
I was working pretty fast. Usually I paint fast, especially in the beginning of the painting. Yeah, let me change the angle a little bit. Now that I stopped painting, and I will show you. Okay. It's hard, especially if I don't see the screen. Do you see the painting? The right angle?
Yeah, no, I see very well.
Is it hard? Yeah, so anyway, that's Notre Dame, right? And this is the River Seine. This is your bridge. And this is the, you call that obelisk? Or with a statue? How do Andrew, maybe you can tell me which way I should move my phone, because I can't really see the screen. Do you see the painting?
Yeah. Can you direct how to move?
This way?
A little down to the left.
It's better?
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
That's
how about
good.
that?
It's at a strong angle, but we
better?
can see it very well.
Okay. All right. So, here's the Notre Dame.
Yeah,
this is the bridge, and this is the street on the left side, left bank. Yeah. So I was looking at this view. I will continue painting towards the Notre Dame, looking towards the Notre Dame. From the top of the, there's a building, Institute, the World of Arab. You know?
Yeah.
Oui, c'est ça.
Yeah, l'Institut du Monde Arabe.
Oui. There's a terrace. You can go. And right now, I don't know if it's open to the public, but at the time I went there, it was not at the same time when I made a painting for you, years before that. So it was open to the public, and I went up and enjoyed the view. And actually, I went there a couple of times, and then probably not, I don't know, it could be. Yeah, it was 14 juillet, the national holiday. And then I was able to see the flyby of the military jet from there.
Oh.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
No,
I
but that's
will.
fantastic. Yes. So let's go back to your painting. Tell us, because this is
Yes,
magic.
yes,
That's
but
what
I
I'm
needed
saying.
to draw
You
it.
know,
It
you
was good
painted, you're
that I
showing,
just
and there
talked.
you are. You did a
Okay,
magic.
yeah.
So,
So Paris is one of the special place for me.
okay.
Well, I never lived there actually, but my father did. Before I was born, he was a scholar, and he was a university professor, and he taught the French literature and philosophy in Japan. But he was invited by French government to not to study because he was not a student anymore, to do research for philosophical his philosophical work, and his specialty was Blaise Pascal, and he translated most of Pascal's philosophical works from French to
Oh,
Japanese. So he spent a few years in France before I was born. But even after I
really?
was born, he would go to France every summer, sometimes with his students, because he was teaching university, and sometimes with us, the family, we travel. So I got to see different parts of France, not just Paris, thanks to him. So anyway, because of him, I got became very interested in France and French culture and French language as well. So after studying English, everybody in Japan studies English first as a first foreign language. I wanted to do French. It was not my major, but I took French a couple of years and I studied. I became
Ah,
quite fluent, but after that, years and years and years, I never used it. So I forgot probably most of that. And then every time I go, I try to pick up a little bit more and more. But I'm never at the level I used to be. So I'm very embarrassed. But I love the language. And,
no, no. So I have a little story.
yeah.
I have a little story about that, because I remember you were invited one year. You invited every very often to win prize or invited to do. And I remember you were you were going to teach in Brittany to that L'Aquarelle du Léon, or something.
Yes,
And
Jill.
I remember
Yes.
talking to the director, Gilles, I think I forgot his name, uh, and he told me, yes, Keiko told us that she could do the thing, the demo in French. She doesn't speak good French, but she said she's gonna try to learn a little bit before
Yes.
the demo. And so that's what he told me before. And what he told me after, he told
Yes,
me,
when I
what
first
is she
met
talking
Jill,
about? She's speaking fluently
I
French.
don't know, maybe
And
it was in
together, we
2010
only,
or 2011. I had my first exhibition in France in 2009, so probably a couple years after that. So my French was quite bad. Even now it's bad, but it's even worse back then. So, I was asked to do a demo, and then Jill was my translator. But a few years ago, when I went back to Brittany, well, I think my French got a little better, so I was able to do a demo and also able to teach a workshop in French. But still, it's not perfect, and so I'm still learning. Oh, merci beaucoup.
Monsieur, tu parles très bien français. Keiko parle très, très bien français. So you told me once I had forgotten about your philosophical background from your dad.
He
And
was my
Blaise
father. Yeah,
Pascal,
I
so I have
never
a
told
quote
you
from
that
Blaise
story.
Pascal for you.
I
Is,
realize. So, I didn't do the
yeah.
same study,
So,
so I'm no
you know, the
expert, so please
quote
don't ask me
is,
anything about Blaise Pascal.
okay, but let me just say a quote from Blaise Pascal. L'amour a sa raison que la raison ne connaît pas. Love have reason that the reason
Uh-huh.
doesn't know. So I love that
Okay, so
quote. So let's go
I
back to
did
your
a first
paintings.
wash, what
What are
I
you
call the
doing?
first wash, which is the putting colors, the first layer, from top to bottom, from one side to another, but basically everywhere. I just put color, but I do leave some areas white. Right now in this painting, what is white, what is kept white is the river. Doesn't mean it's going to stay this way. I will do something to it. And also, what do you call that? The crossing, pedestrian crossing on the street. But otherwise, everything is colored. So what I'm going to do after this is, and of course, keep coloring, but to try to define some elements, because right now you already saw the drawing, so and also I explained what I'm painting, so you know what's there. But if you don't know, if you don't hear me, and also it's already difficult to see the drawing. If you just see the colors that are put there already, you have no idea what it is, right? So I need to define some of the things to tell you what I'm painting, what this subject is. And also, the little bit of atmosphere is there, but not so much. And so I want to create more, not really dramatic, more Parisian feel in this painting. And also the contrast, by showing contrast, in order to create depth and also the light, the capture light. That's always one of the biggest objectives for my painting. I'm sure every painter will say the same thing. How to capture light is one of the important goals, one of the reasons we paint. Of course, every painter is different, but I'm sure that comes near the top of the list. That is important. So that's a task from now.
No, but light, yeah, light is essential in painting in general, but even more so for watercolor. Lumel, yes. Can you tell us, because you know we have only a little more than 5 minutes to go because we need to cut down. Can you describe the colors you've been using? What the name of those colors that you had? You started with, what was it, rose sienna?
Oh yeah, colors. Yeah. First I started with rose sienna.
What other colors are you
then
using?
I was talking about something else, so I didn't mention the colors, and I'm sorry. I have a little warmer gray in the sky, which came from cobalt blue, and alizarin crimson, and a little bit of rose sienna. And then I used the mixture, the gray, actually in the rest of the painting, even where you see the green, and here and there, I have the gray underneath. So those three colors, but you know, you can see, only I don't know if you can, but I can tell you, I used, some parts more blue, and other parts more red, and so I'm showing the different types of gray, but they all came from the same colors. And then greenery, well, of course, those are trees. Nice. I mixed, what was that, like quinacridone gold, and then also phthalo blue. Yeah. So Pierre is the one who introduced me to Sennelier paints, which I'm very, very grateful because I just love it. And, you know, there are many things I like about the Sennelier paints, but I always tell people, my students especially, who ask why Sennelier, and many reasons. But one of the strongest reasons for me is it's honey based. And so the colors, it's very luminous and vibrant in that they don't lose it. And also, as a plein air painter, this is the important part. That somebody who paints outside, like me, especially if you use watercolor, outside, everything dries so fast, including the paints in your palette, right? So before I used Sennelier, I was constantly spraying or putting water in my palette to keep the paints moist, which I don't have to do anymore. What a relief. So I don't think I will switch anymore. I feel I found, something I was looking for. So thank you, Pierre, for introducing me.
I know, but thank you because, I share that, because I like you and it's also my work and all that. But it's interesting to get that feedback from you because I never, even though we know, and with Andrew and I, when people are asking us, we talk about the advantage of honey, but I never thought of that one about the spraying. I knew it dry a little slower, but I didn't think of it. So thank you. You just gave me a tip that we'll use.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Sennelier. Remember, he introduced me. And the same trip, and actually, after I visited Mr. Sennelier in the store, I went to a bridge to make the painting. So same day.
All right. So, no, that's fantastic. And I know Dominique, remember meeting you, Dominique Sennelier, and he was very touched for your visit. But we're gonna have, because we have a timing, because last time Instagram cuts us off after, so we have 4 minutes left. So I'm going to let you, I'm going to stay quiet for the next a couple of minutes so you can explain a little more.
Right now I'm already in the second phase of the painting. So I'm defining things. Like I said, that's one of the things I have to do. And actually, this is the last step for me. I usually finish my painting in 2 steps. So some of the important shapes I'm showing you by defining them. Yeah, like the statue. I believe it's a Saint Genevieve, right? On the statue on top. That's attached to the yes, it's attached to this bridge.
Yeah, Saint Genevieve.
The Pont de la Tournette, right? That's the name of the bridge.
Le pont de la Tournelle. So I have to say that it's le pont de la Tournelle, and the statue, it represents Saint Genevieve, Genevieve, which is the saint of Paris. So she's on that bridge looking, protecting Paris because the water comes down through. So she's facing the people coming into Paris. So she's the protectress of Paris. So that's the story. And it's the same sculptor who worked with my grandfather, the same who did the, you know, the statue in Rio de Janeiro, you know, so
okay, so
they work
is
together
this before or after the fire? I think it has to be before, right? Because I love the steeple of the Notre Dame. Yeah, well, in my painting,
it was you painted before, because
the painting before the fire or after the fire. So I decided this is before, so I put the steeple. All right, so I'm gonna keep doing this and show you the other shapes. I just did the Notre Dame and then also the statue, the tower, the bridge, and then I'm gonna do the buildings right here. So, by the way, the brush I'm using is there's also the one Pierre introduced me, the Raphael. I love this one, especially to paint the large shapes quickly, and the soft aqua and the petit gris, imitation petit gris squirrel.
So, what do we have to?
No, I'm flipping it so people can see you painting.
All right, but in fact, Andrew, you should step in because you couldn't read. Was there? We probably missed some question or something. So we have a couple minutes. What are the next steps? Because we don't want to be shut down. So we have a few minutes. What do we have to do?
Well, we do have a giveaway. So since I have not been able to read the screen, hopefully our friend Cindy can send me a new note on here and let me know if we are ready for that. We can always announce it a little bit later if we are not. Our friend Lauren Van Blargen said hello to both Pierre and Keiko.
Oh, and Lauren. Lauren is the lady who did the editing, worked with us, and you know, we posted the video recently of you in Paris. So that was done by Lauren, who edited it. So thank you.
And let's see, Cindy got back to me. Cindy, just one number, right? So we'll let Keiko start by choosing a number between 1 and 80.
Oh, okay.
Between 1 and 80.
How about 27?
All right, 27, Cindy. And that is going to be our winner. So we're done with our giveaway for the week. And whoever Cindy has listed as number 7 is going to win Keiko's palette.
Wow. And there's a lot of this. So palette will have the Cellulier color, the brushes, and the Fabriano Artistico. So
it looks like it is Mochi Arts.
Mochi Arts.
Yes.
Okay. Is Mochi Arts have a name? No? No,
not that I know of.
Okay. Congratulations, Mochi. And then, so how much time do we have?
Oh, really?
It can cut us off any second now.
So just in case we can continue. Yes, because what happened, Instagram gives us so much time, like about 45 minutes. So between 45 minutes to an hour, they cut us off. So that's the way it is. They used to give us notice, 5 minutes notice, but they don't anymore.
Time. So
we just
going
so they can continue to paint. Why don't you continue painting? No. Continue to paint. I'm just gonna say thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting
Keiko,
me.
Thank you everybody for coming. Remember, yes, but continue painting. I'm just gonna do like go paint. Just it will be done, and then you can continue to paint and describe what you're doing until we get cut off. So on that note,
definitely,
guys, paint is good for you, and
go paint
is good for the world. Go paint! All right, now it's so it's on the Keiko's, and you please continue to describe.
Yeah, so have fun with the watercolor, and just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of water. Just let it do what it wants to do. I think that's the ultimate joy. The only watercolorists can enjoy.
Okay, but Keiko, while you have time, can you describe to the public what's the best way to follow?
Oh yes, most of my classes are online after March. So if you go to my website, you find all the information. And also sometimes on my Instagram, I announce my watercolor workshops, upcoming workshops. So, but I think what my website is probably the best place. You're gonna get some detailed information. So please check it out. It's ktanabefineart.com. You can also go to my website from my Instagram account.
Okay, well, thank you. So continue painting. We'll paint. And now that we are proactive, they're going to let us stay longer than usual.
I was going so fast that I almost mixed it up.
I don't know. It's unknown. So you may,
right.
Because people are still watching you. People are not living. So you can continue to paint and explain. I don't see it now because Andrew is in charge.
That's good.
So just...
Yeah, well, so next to doing the same thing, I'm defining and showing more shapes, so to make more sense out of this mess, the mess I had. And so I'm using a smaller brush, not the big one anymore. Now, some of the small brushes also Raphael, like a Carrel, Precision, those are pretty good. So, well, actually, I'm not far from the end, finish of the painting. And, I don't really like to paint everything. I want to always leave something and then I ask the viewer to finish my painting. So I try not to do too much. And, I believe in less is more. But if there's anything that I can do without putting everything, but to make this painting a little bit stronger, that's what I have to do right now. So that's what I'm looking for. Plus, this painting, I'm not really looking at anything. I'm just working totally from memory, and the memory is fading, and that's why I don't know what's missing. I don't know, But that's okay. I'm enjoying it, so that's the most important part.
So, that's the most important. Enjoy. It should be a happy painting.
Right. But since it's a representational painting and not really abstract,
but you said something.
And also it's such an iconic view of Paris with some historical buildings. I want a little bit of accuracy, so without seeing any reference, that part is hard. But anyway,
so Keiko,
you have to go?
So Keiko, I have a question for you. Yeah, another question for you. I mean, I want to bounce back since we have more time than we thought. So that's very good. So you said something very important for us, for the audience, is when you say you always leave something open. you always, you know, you finish, you almost, one of the biggest problems I've seen, particularly in watercolor, more than other medium, if people trying to do too much, they always want to go back. And at some point, watercolor, you have to stop. You cannot go back, right? Can you tell us about
there may be
touch
different ways of saying this,
about that?
but I'm trying to explain this in my own way, personal way. I did study in communication. My first degree was in communication, and I believe painting is a communication field. You know, when I'm painting, I'm trying to communicate with the subject I chose. And so my painting process is a dialogue I'm making with the painting. So, you know, when I teach, and I'm not really telling you that part, but, you know, actually in my mind, there's another dialogue going on, you know, aside from the external voice, internal voice is there inside me, which I don't vocalize, so you don't know. But that's a communication I'm making, dialogue, with the painting. So the question can be, you know, what now what I have to do? And then the painting tells me. And so I feel it's a teamwork. Of course, the painting doesn't talk, but, you know, I take, you know, I see it that way. And another part is that after the painting is finished, and, you know, that probably answered your question, I leave something for the viewer, right? I want the viewer to complete the painting. So even if after I leave my painting, after I finish, the communication continues between me, which is the painting, and the viewer. And sometimes they give me feedback. Sometimes I never get to hear that. But and then if I get to hear that, the communication continues. So, you know, art just keeps giving, I think. Well, after it's born, and that's what I love, and just never stops. So,
art keeps giving. I like that. Art keeps giving. I'm gonna have to write it down. Remember, Andrew, I don't have a pen. Maybe I'll.
You notice I put a little flag, French flag, right here.
I like that.
Tricolor. Yeah. So this painting was about. Oops. Why did I put the red there? Maybe painting told me the voice. Giving.
Art keeps talking.
Giving. Keiko, somebody is asking what size soft aqua quill you use.
This one is number 6. I have other sizes though, but today I use number 6. Yeah, it's just size number 6.
And then Nancy asked if we would post it on the site when we are done. It is always going to be posted to Instagram afterwards, and generally we'll post to Facebook as well the next day or by the next day. So these videos are all going to be available on Instagram TV.
Embarrassing. But anyway, yeah, if there's any questions, please ask me. Andrew will read it for me.
Let's see what else. I'm scrolling through all the ones I missed earlier. Let's see what we got. Everybody is telling you how talented you are and saying thank you, Keiko. So you have many people who are appreciative of you being here today.
You're having fun. I'm the one having so much fun. So thank you so much. But anyway,
and people read
no, it's right.
Paper. One of the things I like about Fabriano Artistico is the lifting is so easy. Actually, I made a mistake over there because I didn't draw everything. I don't always do, but probably I should have, because this river, you know, this is an island, right? So this river, of course, goes down this way. Yeah, it goes up this way, but of course, that's an island. So it you know, there are 2 ways out from there. There's 1 and 2, and I kind of close the opening of the second one right here. But since Fabriano is so forgiving, which is a great news for us, because, well, we're never perfect. We do make mistakes, right? So sometimes we have to remove something or change, and also we may change our mind. We thought maybe we did the right thing or the best possible, anything possible. But after that, maybe not. And then, we change our mind when it happens. So, this paper is perfect to do that. So that's also good. If it's not like that, we become fearful and try not to make mistakes, and then we can't really enjoy the process. It is important to enjoy the process. I always tell my students, don't worry too much. I know it's not easy.
So I have a question for you, since people are not asking. They were asking questions before, but Andrew was not here. I was watching you, so I'm sorry. We missed a few questions from before, but I'm going to make one. Something, you have usually a preference for rough, and it's not very as popular as cold press or hot press in America, more popular in Europe. Why do you pick rough?
Probably the texture.
Why do you like rough so much? Please.
I love texture. I'm sure you do too, most of you. So that's one of the reasons. And also there was one of the brush techniques called dry brush technique, which did I use it? No, I didn't show it much in this painting. Mm-hmm. But that's if you love the technique, it's a lot easier to do it. If you use rough paper, and also cold press, but not on hot press. So yeah, but I do use cold press as well. Like I showed you in the beginning, I had two, right? And I decided to use rough today. Mm-hmm. I like it, but I don't have enough experience with hot press because of the reason I just said. So anyway.
No, but hot press is hot press is more difficult for all those reasons. There's less technique you can use, and it's usually used more for illustration of people who are very, very, very precise and detailed oriented. With your technique,
yeah, so it depends on what you do. I think the important thing is try everything that you can put your hand on, and then just choose the one that works best for you. Because everybody paints different way, and also not just the style, but also the subject matter, and there may be practical reason too. So to find the best paper for you, that's not easy actually. It takes time, and maybe the availability is different from one place to another. Yeah, actually, I don't really have to do much anymore. I just wanted to put a few details and break it down.
So for me, it's always magical how it looks so easy when you do it, Keiko. So when people take your class, it's as easy for them.
Maybe I'm doing a good job at hiding. I'm struggling. I hear that often. Oh, you make it look so easy. I hear that often.
No,
never. But of course, it depends. Some paintings are easier than the other. And why there's some paintings are easier? Because I already had a good vision to begin with. I had started with something really, good. I'm more confident. But sometimes, I like what I see, but I'm not sure how to paint. There's a little bit of doubt. If I start out that way, but sometimes I surprise myself and I have a good painting at the end. But the fear that comes from it, and it shows up in the painting. So there's something that's not so as strong as I want it to be. So maybe that's one. And also, this is something I always teach. You have to plan certain things, especially when you use watercolor. And if you skip that part in your process, you may have a good painting at the end, but it's a gamble, and the success rate may not be as high. If you had a good planning in the beginning, your success rate go up. I can guarantee that. And actually, that's what I teach. So it's a secret, trade secret.
But it's paper. You can paint and paint over.
Okay.
Keiko,
Yeah, actually, it's almost done.
In 30 seconds.
Yeah,
So
and I
first
will
to
post
tell
it.
you, so
Send you a
thank
photo,
you.
and I'll post it when
So
it's done.
continue, it's gonna shut down.
So
Merci.
I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's fantastic. I can't wait to watch it again now because I didn't see all of it.
Yes.
And can you show